my first video on this channel focused on the number of Democrats that were running for the Democratic nomination. I said it in my first video, and I know because I talked about the, I was a huge clown car of nominees, right? It's a huge clown car. There's too many, and somehow they're gonna have to basically take off chunks, not little bits, but chunks of Democrats because there's too many. There's too many people running for the Democratic nomination. I think that's a big problem. Now, like I said, I have some people that I'm rooting for, not because I agree with them at 100% all the single time. Like I said, there's some people that I agree with simply because they seem authentic. One of the people that I've been cheering for is Tulsi Gabbard. I don't agree with everything she says, but she seems genuine. Kind of like Bernie Sanders in 2016, but now in 2019, he seems more like an establishment Democrat kind of guy. He kind of lost me. He sounds more like a typical politician. But Tulsi Gabbard, she's not an identitarian, meaning that she doesn't pander to identity politics. She doesn't say, well, I'm a woman, so vote for me. No, she doesn't go through that route. I used to support Andrew Yang, but now he's pulling the whole identity politics stuff, using cheap attacks, like calling Trump a fat slob and all that other stuff. And I'm thinking, you know what, Yang? You're just falling in line with everyone else. Sure, do I like Trump? No, not really. But like I said, I'm mature enough to recognize when he does something good and when he does something stupid. Like I said, I've been really criticizing Trump over his remarks of video games causing violence, and I'm thinking, no, Trump, that's something stupid for you to say, and I called him out on it. Like I said, look through my channel, and you can see and you can find the video there. But again, I will give credit where credit is due, and I will call someone out when they're doing something stupid. When it comes to the Democrats, there's too many. I said it again, and I'll keep saying it. There's too many, and I said it earlier on that some people are gonna have to go. Tulsi Gabbard, like I said, I'm rooting for her, but she's barely qualified. She's struggling to stay in the race. She really is. She's struggling. So, sadly, we might not even see her in the debates. If you're rooting for her, we might not even see her in the next debate. If she does make it, that's a good thing. But can she keep up? Can she keep reeling those donations? Can she keep, meeting the requirements for the polls? And if not, she's gonna have to drop out. Hickenlooper, another Democrat running for the nomination for the Democratic Party, apparently he's considering ending his bid for the president and instead going for the Senate. And I'm going to tell you this right now. I think running for president, sure, it's a huge thing per se. Sure, most presidents are mostly known. Because if I were to tell you, can you name me at least 5 presidents? I'm pretty sure you'll be able to name me 5. I'm pretty sure. Because the president, there's only one president. That's pretty much where it is. When it comes to the presidency, there's not 2 presidents, there's not 3 presidents. No, it's one president. That's why they're easy to remember, and their influence is a lot greater, sure. But the presidency is not really a seat that many people like per se, because the president doesn't really have that much power. Sure, he has some power, but he's not the monarch or God or the all do everything kind of guy. No, he doesn't have the power to do whatever they want. They can't do that. That is why when Trump won, a lot of people were panicking. It was like, oh my God, everything's gonna end. And I'm in my couch thinking, you guys are a bunch of crazies. Trump is not going to do everything he says. Now, he's done some things, but not everything, right? But like I said, people who do not understand politics, they think the president can do everything they want, right? But in reality, that's not the case. Like I said, my reaction to Trump winning was like, well, damn, I can't believe you won. But I wasn't panicking. I wasn't crying. I wasn't throwing a fit. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you've seen those memes of those leftists and Democrats crying like a bunch of babies because Trump won. And in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, what's the big deal? Trump isn't going to do everything he says he will do. But like I said, he's done things that he said he was going to do. Not all of them. But again, that's just my opinion. But the presidency is not a monarchy. It's not a king. It's not a king. It's not. The president can do whatever the hell they want. So I think Hickenlooper is probably thinking, hey, you know what? Maybe instead of running for the presidency, I can run for the Senate, because the Senate has technically has a lot of power too. Individual senators, again, they don't have that much power, but as the Senate in general, they have a lot of power. The Senate can ratify treaties. They basically hold the trials when they're impeaching the president. I know, you see what I mean? Like, they have a lot of powers. Like, really, the Senate has a lot of power. Oh, and they also confirm Supreme Court justices. Again, that seems like a lot of power, right? But let's see what this article says. It's from The Hill, and it reads: Hickenlooper, considering ending presidential bid to run for Senate. It's a report. It's from 2 hours ago, and it reads: former Colorado Governor John Hickenlooper, a Democrat, is considering ending his White House bid and pursuing a Senate run instead. The New York Times reported Tuesday. 4 Democratic sources familiar with his thinking told the outlet that the two-term governor is giving serious consideration to challenging Republican Senator Cory Gardner of Colorado, a move many have called for in hopes of helping Democrats retake the Senate. Hickenlooper reportedly discussed the possibility with Senator Michael Bennet, a Democrat from Colorado, another 2020 candidate, during a drive between an event in Iowa. Aides and advisors to the Colorado politicians declined to comment to the Times on what was discussed during the ride. Hickenlooper's campaign did not immediately respond to requests for comment from the Hill on his plans. Colorado could play a key role in Democratic efforts to retake the Senate. While there are already 11 declared candidates in the Democratic field, Hickenlooper would bring a high level of name recognition and popularity in Colorado. Senate Minority Leader Charles Schumer, Democrat from New York, has reportedly been trying to recruit him to run for months. Hickenlooper has struggled to establish a foothold in the presidential race and is far from qualifying for the 3rd and 4th Democratic primary debates this fall. And that concludes the article. It's a very short one. I was actually surprised. But like I said, Hickenlooper, I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of him because, again, I've rarely heard of the guy, so I can't really judge him. You know, I heard the name seems familiar, but if I show me a picture of this guy, I wouldn't be able to tell you. Because, like I said, the guy is not really prominent among the Democratic race, right? He's not very prominent. But, like I said, I think he's doing a smart move here in the sense that the presidency is not all what it's made out to be, right? It's sure, you get to be called president, and you're commander in chief of the military. You know, you get to do executive orders if you want, and you can sign bills or veto them, but it's like I said, the president can't do everything they want, right? Congress, they have their role is to make the laws, right? The House and the Senate have different sorts of powers. The House can initiate impeachment proceedings. The Senate holds the trial for those proceedings, and the Supreme Court tries those proceedings, right? They're the ones who decide whether to declare the president guilty of what they're being accused of, and all that political mumbo jumbo. But the thing is, I think it's a more practical, I would say a smarter thing to do. Am I cheering for Hickenlooper? Of course not. But again, a Senate, first of all, there are no term limits for Senate. Meaning that if Hickenlooper, if he were to run for Senate right now and win, he can continue to run and run and run until the day he dies. Or until he's voted out. But usually, incumbents have a bigger advantage because they have name recognition. More people focus on the presidency rather than the midterm elections. So again, I think that's a pro. You know what I mean? Like, look at Nancy Pelosi. She's been in politics for, like, I don't know, over a decade, I think. Probably even when I was, like, I think even before I was born. I don't know. I don't really know how old she is, but she's been in politics for a long time. Maxine Waters, she's been in politics for a long time. Why? Because there's no term limits. And I think if Hickenlooper wants to do this, I think it's a really smart thing to do. Because, again, he's from Colorado. He's a former governor, so he has recognition already. He could win in Colorado. Now, winning the country is another thing. Like I said, you have to appease to the entire country. But Colorado, I'm pretty sure some people in Colorado know who Hickenlooper is. I'm pretty sure. So if you see Hickenlooper running for Senate, he'll definitely win. Why? Because he has the name recognition. Again, people don't have time to research all the 10 candidates running for the Senate in this district. No, they'll go like, I know this name, so I'm going to vote for that guy or that woman. Name recognition will get you very far, right? They will get you very far. I remember when I was voting for the 2016 election. At the same time they were also voting for new members of for the House, some for the Senate. When I was voting for my representative in my district, one of the names that I saw was Lou Corral. Now, if you do not know him, he used to be a former state senator in California. I actually knew his son. I don't want to mention his name because, again, for security reasons, I don't want to I don't want to involve his name, but I knew his son. Now I was surprised that he was a son, because again, like I said, I knew who he was. I knew who Senator Lou Correa was, but I had no idea that one of his sons wasn't wasn't my math class. But I didn't know that. I got along with the guy. Hell, we could say we were friends to some degree, not very close ones, but we got along very well. And then when he told me, I was like, oh, did you know that he's my dad? And I was thinking, like, really? I didn't believe it, right? But the thing is, when I saw his name on the ballot, I just automatically checked it. Why? Because I didn't know anyone else on that ballot that was running. I was like, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know who this guy is. Oh, I know who Luke Correa is. I'm over for him. And a lot of people tend to do that. Now, it's reckless. Sure, it is. Of course, it's a little reckless. I will admit it's a little reckless to just go by name recognition. But again, people have things to do. Voting. Some people they don't think voting is all that important. Which again, I don't. Whether you agree with voting is important or not, that's up to you. But some people have things to do. They don't have time to spend an hour or two looking at a ballot and researching every single person that is on the ballot. They don't have time for that. They will look for the person that they think they're familiar with, and they will vote for them. That is why Congress has a low approval rating, and yet they keep voting in the same people. Why? Because people don't want to research who they're running. They just want to get it over with, and that's it. I did that. Like I said, I just saw Luke Correa. Like, okay, you know what? I'm going to vote for the guy. I don't know anyone else on the ballot. I'm just going to say Luke Correa. That's it. He won. Apparently, apparently he won. Apparently he won. But like I said, people do that. Hickenlooper, I think it's a smart move here because he's a former governor of Colorado. If he were to run for the Senate, he has a high chance of winning. A former governor going to the Senate? Now that's a big now that's a huge advantage. But if you ask a Californian who John Hickenlooper is, I'm pretty sure they'll tell you who. But if you go to Colorado and ask, do you know who's John Hickenlooper? Chances are they're gonna say, well, he's a former governor, isn't he? Right? But if you go to Texas and ask them, do you know who's John Hickenlooper? They'll probably tell you no. Right? It's kind of like if you go to Texas and say, do you know who's Gavin Newsom? They'll probably say no. But again, Gavin Newsom has been making the news recently, so they might know him. But the point is, local will get you far. If he runs for Senate, I think it's a smart move. I'm not supporting him in any way, because again, I don't know him enough to support him. But at the same time, again, he's a Democrat, and I haven't really had a chance to know what his policy stances. But like I said, it's a smart move. If he runs for president and he wins, what's he gonna do after the presidency? Because again, you only have 4 years as president. And if you want to get a re-election, meaning for a second term, after that second term, you're done. You can't run for president anymore, right? So what's next? But I think Senate, I think it's a good idea for him. He has the advantage. He was a governor in Colorado, so if he were to run for Senate in Colorado, he has that advantage. And guess what? No term limits. And if he runs for Senate, he has 6-year terms. That's a long time. Really. The president's 4 years. The House, the representatives in the House get 2 years, but Senate gets 6. Now, granted, the president can run for another 4 years, but assuming that every president lost a re-election, the senators have a better advantage. Why? Because every 6 years they get re-elected. Yeah, they do. Every 6 years they're up for re-election. That's the term. They have a bigger advantage, and the Senate has to some degree a lot of power compared to the House and compared to the presidency. So I think, like I said, I think it's a smart move on Hickenlooper. I'm not saying vote for Hickenlooper. You can vote for whoever the hell you want, but I think it's a smart move because the presidency is not all it's made out to be. Really, it isn't. It seems cool and all. Sure, you go down in the history books as this 44th or the 30th president, but the presidency isn't all that it's made out to be. I'll tell you this right now. They can't do everything they want. They can't. Now, like I said, if you can go in the history books again, there's only one president. You're bound to be remembered easier because if you're president, right? Like I said, Barack Obama, if 10 years from now, people will know who Barack Obama is. 10 years from now, they will know who George W. Bush is. Because again, it's just one president. But a senator, like I said, you don't get the whole name recognition. You don't tend to go down in history as much. You don't tend to be remembered as much as in your term in politics. But as a president, you're guaranteed you're guaranteed in the history books pretty much. Historians, they will put you in the history books because you're just one president. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's going to conclude the video. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think Hickenlooper is doing a smart move here, leaving the presidency and running for Senate instead? Do you think he will actually run for Senate, or do you think he's going to try to continue to push for the presidency despite him not polling very well? Not to mention he's actually struggling to meet the requirements for the next debates. But let me know what you guys think. Say if you live in Colorado, are you going to support Hickenlooper? If you are, why? And if you're not, why not? But again, I'm not pushing. I'm not supporting Hickenlooper because I hardly know the guy. I don't know his stances as well. All I know is he's running for the Democratic nomination, but he's not polling very well. But I think if he runs for Senate, he has a better advantage because I'm pretty sure people in Colorado know who he is. And he has a better advantage in winning the Senate compared to the presidency. But let me know what you guys think. If you like the video, hit the like button. Share the video as well because YouTube chooses to derank independent political commentary. And I'm pretty sure they're going to derank this as well. I don't know if they are though because again, I'm not really criticizing Hickenlooper. And again, I am involved in politics to some degree, but I'm not trash talking the guy. I'm not disrespecting him in any way. But again, YouTube is random at times, so you never know. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification button as well. That way you never miss an upload. But the best thing you can do is just share and like the video and comment down below if you think Hickenlooper is making a good decision here, running for Senate instead of running for president, instead of running for the presidency, or do you think the other way around? Let me know what you guys think. Of course, keep the comments respectful amongst one another. I try to get involved depending if you do comment. I try to get involved in the conversation as well. But like I said, just share and like the video. That's the best thing you can do. The next segment is focusing on the video game industry. Focusing on one of the franchises that I grew up with. Hopefully you guys can stick around for that one because that's going to be the last segment for the night. But if you can't stick around, have a good rest of the night, you guys, and I'll see you in a bit.